Hello, this is Manesh Patel from Ichimoku Today is February 23, 2014. This is our bi-weekly Ichimoku analysis for all the global stock markets. We'll cover everything from Europe, slowly move across the Middle East to Asia, and then off to North and South America. Let's go for our normal procedures here. This is our disclaimer to state this is for education use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, you're doing that at your own risk. All the charts today you're going to see are from eSignal. Here are our contact details here at info@eiicapital.com. You could also call us in at any of our office locations here. Also, you could go to our website, ichimokutrade.com. You could access any of our free videos, multiple time frame email alerts, heat maps services, and various other services are available out there. One of the things you guys should also do is check out our blog and also our Twitter feeds and so forth. Okay, so let's go straight to the charts. Let me go to eSignal and let's start on we always start off in Europe. So let me come over here. We're going to start off with Ireland. Remember, the left hand side is basically the daily time frame. Right hand side is basically the weekly time frame. It's a little slow today. Here, Ireland. Not a lot of people have been noticing Ireland here, but this is in a major trend right now. As you can see, it's been going for a little while. We got two minor supports right now. The first one's at 62.72, but Ireland is pretty much on a major trend going up, and it has been, if you look at it here, since 2013, and you could see here 2012, and it really broke out here towards the end of 2012. And then pretty much started a trend. It's pretty much progressed into 2013 and is continuing to move forward. So Ireland is very strong moving forward. It's at all-time high. There's no resistances you really can map out at all. But you could see here it hasn't even pulled back to the green line. So this is very strong moving forward. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that one towards the middle of this year and towards the end of the year and see if it starts engaging any pullbacks. UK market really not doing anything exciting here. As you could see, it's kind of ranging here. The middle of the consolidation pattern is about 66.52. The top is about 68.79, and you can see we're about to approach it about the third time now. And you could see here on the weekly time frame there. On a daily, you could see it here. Shrink this down a little. You can see the big swing up and down movement, so nothing really exciting as far as the UK market is concerned. Germany, which pretty much is the DAX market here, is a bullish trend here on the weekly time frame, gone up. Done a little minor pullback here. Came back above the resistance now, which is now a support, which is 93.72, trying to retest the high. I think this easily could get to about 10,000 at that point. The question is what's going to happen here in the German market. It's been going up for a very long time like all the other markets, so it's due for a major pullback, which it pretty much has not gone at all. The medium pullback is going to be, which is the major support, is going to be 89.44. It has to sit there and hold that. If it doesn't, then they definitely will go for a major pullback. The German CACs here, you could see last week it closed above this resistance of 43.31. So this is slowly moving up right now. You could see here it's now got a high probability, since it broke and closed above this resistance here, to get to 46.63. But you kind of want to see a follow for this week to keep on going. But it does look like with high probability it's going to get to about 46.63. So this is continuing on its trend going upwards. Notice that Paris has been typically weak compared to the UK and German market, especially to the UK. UK is pretty much approaching resistance, whereas the Paris market has broken it and is trying to get to the next resistance level. Germany, of course, has been the strongest of all of them, but it seems like France now is starting to get a little more ahead than the UK market, which is pretty interesting. Switzerland, which is the next country here, consolidating here. As you could see here, the top of the consolidation pattern is about 84.73 here, and the bottom, of course, is going to be around 78.22. The middle is going to be 81.49. So this thing's just been consolidating for a while. It's still very strong bullish, so there is a high probability of breaking to 84.73 and getting to 88.21. So I keep an eye on that for sure. Next, we're going to move across to Iceland. You could see here, Iceland here. Has a nice bullish trend here on the weekly time frame. Looks like it's trying to top out here on the weekly, and you can see that kind of here on the daily time frame here because the price has now got to the cloud. So a major support, which it's at right now, it's about 394. Still waiting for the charts to load right now, but that's a major support right there. The next one's going to be about 380 is the next support level there, but this does have a high probability of continuing on since this is a very strong movement up. There's still very strong momentum going into this thing. The key level here is it's got to get above the 394 396 level very soon. If it doesn't do that, then it does have a possibility of doing a medium pullback and can possibly get to about 380 367. So definitely need to keep an eye on that one. Baltic, if you look here, it's just pretty much consolidating here between 620 and 637 here. But as you can see, this has been a nice bullish trend here. You did kind of a major pullback here, came back, retested the high. This is the third retest of the high. This thing has got to sit there and hold 620. If it ever gets below the 620, then this thing's going to go for a major pullback where possibly it can get all the way down to 573. So definitely need to keep an eye on that one. Denmark is the next one. You could see Denmark's been going up huge, and this is kind of like the Ireland market here, which is pretty much progressing straight into this year. So if you look here, Denmark's been going up. It's still very strong. It's at an all-time high right now, as you can see, because we don't have any resistances mapped out there. So it looks like it's trying to get to even 700, which it looks like it's going to get to maybe even this week because it's very couple of points away. But this does not have a major, so the support right now is moving. So we got a minor support at 620, but until this thing decides to consolidate, stop out, we're really not going to know what the support's going to be. So we just need to be patient and wait. So you could see Ireland and Denmark have pretty much been leading in this region so far. Finland here, and let's shrink this down here. You could see here it's approached a major resistance at 74.95. Breaks that, it's going to get to 76.08. You could see here it looks like it broke it here, but still kind of right around here, so I wouldn't trust it here. I don't like this price action in here, but kind of hesitated right here. It should have sat there and kept on going. It didn't, so they're showing some signs of weakness, but not completely. So definitely one that probably doesn't look like too good to trade there. I would definitely probably stick to Denmark compared to trading Finland. Norway. If you look at Norway here is in the bullish trend here. Topped out at resistance to 619. Support on this one's going to be about 579 and then 599, which are the two supports for this guy. Belgium here, you can see his nice bullish trend continuing to go up. It just broke resistance at 29.63. It's all the all-time high right now. Got past the 3,000 level and got to 319. So this does have a possibility of continuing on with this trend since momentum is very strong. So this is very strong out there. Sweden. Here you can see a nice bullish trend here. It's kind of stuck at a little level of 1350, but I do feel like it's going to get to about 1400 because it's very strong. As long as it maintains the support at 1282, this has a high probability of getting to 1400. Netherlands here, you could see this is bullish, but it's kind of like an ugly bullish because it keeps on pulling back a lot in these huge gap bars here. So this resistance is 407. Support's going to be about 395 and 364. Spain, if you look at Spain here, it's still bullish trending here. It kind of got a little ugly here. It kind of broke apart here. Nice support at 98.81 and then 94 about 17 or so. I think that's 17. Sometimes you can't see due to the cloud. Whoa, what just happened here? Let me shrink this down a little. So 94.27 is the value there. So that's 94.27 and the 98.81 are the support levels here. But this is not a smooth bullish trend here. You can see with this little hiccup here where it went below the red line, but it's still bullish trending right now. Let's see, that's Spain. Let's go to Greece. Greece here, bullish trending here, as you could see for the movement up. It's got into resistance at 1864. Next support is going to be around 1740 and 1570 here. Okay, and you could see the bullish momentum on the daily time frames kind of topping out. So this may be the top right now. If it can't sit there and hold the 1740 level, but definitely this is going to go down at 1570 and possibly can go down to about 1400 for a major pullback. So definitely keep an eye on Greece to maybe pull back now and undergauge its major pullback. Portugal here, broken the resistance at 14,024. It looks like it's trying to get to 15,000, which is the top level mark there. Ichimoku will pull up in just a moment, but this is a nice bullish trend upwards. It still has a very strong momentum. You could see it from the weekly and also in the daily. Next couple of days are going to really tell you the truth. If it could hold 14,024 in the next 4 days, then this definitely has a potential of getting to 15,000 because there's a timing element that's coming up for Portugal. Italy. Here, you could see it's bullish trending, but this is an ugly bullish trend, as they call, because it keeps on going up, then pulls back. This pullback here is too much of a pullback for me. It did sit there and hold a major resistance. It broke at 18,000, which is a very strong sign that it's got to have potential going up. But it's gotten to the resistance at 20,315, kind of broke that. Now has a possibility of getting to about at least 2,100, I think. At that point, it's going to be a quick question if this thing's going to continue to go up or it's going to sit there and finally pull back. So we're going to have to see in the next couple of weeks exactly what happens to the Italian market. Austria here, really not doing anything except basically a nice weak bullish trend right now. Got into resistance at 2688. Support's going to be 2569. Czechoslovakia here, consolidating between the ugly range about 957 and 1037. Hungary really consolidating here between 17,818 and 19,598. Poland really consolidating here 2320 and 2618. Romania, nice bullish trend here in Romania. You can see a nice movement up. It's gotten to resistance level right now at 65.96. Support on this one's going to be 63.02, which is kind of held, and then 61.63. But this does, since 63.02 did hold, it's got a high probability of getting to 65.96 and breaking that and continuing movement up. And it is very, very strong. So definitely could look for Romania to continue its journey. Slovakia. Here, look at this nice little movement up. It's a nice little gap up there. Nice big trend out where it broke the resistance at 202. We'll have to see exactly where this thing could go, but it did break up. There are resistance levels at every 10 points, believe it or not, in this guy moving forward. That was Slovakia. Russia. Let's go look here. Russia's just consolidating between 31.17 and 32.79. Nothing really exciting going on there. And then you got South Africa here, where it's basically bullish trend here. Decided to hesitate here and got a little volatile between the consolidation pattern here. But eventually did sit there and hold the support at 10,336, which it's been holding, got back to 11,000, and looks like it's trying to break 11,000 up, but just resisting. Until this thing breaks 11,000, then basically the trend's not going to continue at all. The longer it takes to break the 11,000, the weaker this bullish trend's going to become. Next is Turkey. Here, Turkey's really not doing anything exciting at all except consolidating. It's at the pretty much getting close to the bottom of the consolidation pattern at 36.77. Resistance is 42.08. Israel. Here, this is a nice bullish trend going for up. Then it decided they want to do a pullback to about, I would say, let's move this chart a little, about 46.26. Kind of pulled back to there and then came back up. The support level it has to hold now to remain bullish is 51.84. If it breaks that, then it's going to undergo a major pullback. And the resistance it has to break to continue this bullish trend is about 58.07. Saudi Arabia. Here, it's continuing its journey up, and the next resistance level is trying to get to is 91.90. Support in this one's going to be 8,800. Dubai. Here, if you look at Dubai, still continuing its big move up. Looks like it's going to get to about nice 4,400 I think it got there, but not quite. No, it hasn't got there quite, but still very strong on both the daily and weekly to a point this thing looks like it'll definitely get to 4,400. It's interesting how not a lot of people are talking about Dubai and Abu Dhabi and them on how the market's been moving up. Abu Dhabi here looks like it's approaching 5,000 very fast with strong vengeance, and you can see the huge movement up here. Bahrain moving up to an all-time high here. Looks like that's going to get to 14,000. Kuwait here is consolidating. This is kind of like the one of the weakest ones there. It's consolidating between 1067 and 1101. Oman here is broken out here. The resistance at 69.71 got to 7,200. Looks like they probably could get to about 7,400, 7,500 in the next couple of months. But it is still very, very strong momentum moving forward. Qatar here, you could see it's moving up, got to 12,000 here, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So most of the countries here in Dubai are pretty much still Middle East are still continuing their journeys way, way up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens towards the middle of this year and towards the end and see what happens there. China, if you remember China, we've been bearish and pretty much got down to this major support 2058.9, bounced off there, and now consolidating. The top of the consolidation pattern is 2318. It's still got a couple of weeks, I would say, before it could go bullish, but this thing is consolidating to a point where 2059 is holding and 2318 is being holding. The longer the thing consolidates, the more bullish it's going to become in China, and we'll have a possibility of breaking out. So this is one we're definitely going to be looking at towards the middle of this year, towards the end, maybe breaking out of its consolidation pattern, either bullish or bearish, but we're saying more towards the bullish side due to the weakness that we're seeing on momentum, on the bearish momentum. Hong Kong consolidating between 20,990 and 23,920. Korea, and really not doing anything here except 245 and 277.72. Japan here, there's a nice bullish trend here, pulled back to about 14,000 and it kind of held here right now. Japan is kind of in a critical stage where it sat there and got to about 14,000. If it gets below that, then this thing is going to go for a major pullback, what possibly could get to 12,000, 1,215. Resistance on this guy is about 16,215. The minor resistance right now is 14,750. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Japan market, the Nikkei market, in the next couple of months. Malaysia here, bullish trend, but kind of showing some major signs of weakness. A little more consolidation patterns starting to happen here. Support on this guy is going to be about 1771 and 1710. Resistance is going to be 1859. Indonesia here, just consolidating. It's a major trend up, decided to go for a pullback. The pullback's just an ugly pullback where it's now entered a consolidation pattern. Most pullbacks you have the profit taking, then it continues to retest the high and possibly could break that. This thing has just decided to consolidate between 42.03 and 45.46. Until it breaks the 45.46, there's no way it's going to retest the high to basically for the trend to continue. Thailand, here you could see here major trend. It's also going for a major pullback, and that pullback's now entered the consolidation pattern, which looks ugly. The consolidation is between 1202 and about 1350. Philippines here, this is ugly little pattern here where it's consolidating between 3510 and 3986. Nothing exciting there. Vietnam here, pretty much had gotten to a major resistance now, 2514, which is a major resistance for the Vietnam market. I'm going to wait for a little for the price action to catch up with us. There we go. Let's see, where were we? Okay, India. India here, it's just consolidating right now between 20,201 and 2148. This 20,201's got to hold. If as long as it holds there, then we got a possibility of breaking the 21,248 and going higher. Typically, January and February have been down months, which you're kind of seeing here with this little pullback here. But those down months are pretty much over. We're almost close to March, so March markets typically have a tendency of going up. So I have a feeling we're going to get to 21,248, and if we get there very soon, then we do have a high probability of breaking it. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Australia here, you could see that we kind of had a date now for this thing to kind of get to the resistance levels here. We're kind of thinking that maybe it would have got to 858.07 by now due to the timing elements. Quite didn't happen. Never could break out the 54.10 level at all. Got close to here and then close to here again, but never quite break it. As long as this thing stays above 5,044, then we do have a possibility of getting to 58.07, and this bullish trend can continue. It's a still very, very strong bullish trend, believe it or not, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. We can move forward. New Zealand here, nice bullish trend here. Decided to pull back. It pulled back to about 47.35 and then came back and retested the high, which we're pretty much at now. Let's just say it's 49,046. Momentum is still very, very strong. We do have a possibility of breaking that, at least getting to 5,000, and then we'll have to see exactly what happens from that point on. Okay, so let's go over to the US side. North America, let's go to the Dow. Remember, the Dow is kind of like the weakest between comparing it to the S&P and NASDAQ. And you could see here the support on this guy is going to be about 15,641. Resistance is 16,588. It's still bullish trending. It's consolidating between here and here. If it ever breaks the 15,641, we definitely would go for a major pullback on this one. We don't know exactly when that's going to be and where it's going to go to, because we don't know when it's going to start to occur, but we're watching it. The S&P 500 is pretty much at its resistance now at 1850. Major support on this one's going to be 1792 and then 1739. It's got to break this 1850 level soon. If it doesn't, then this thing's going to start reversing and possibly can undergo a major pullback just like the Dow. But this is still stronger than the Dow, believe it or not. The S&P is. The NASDAQ, on the other hand, is going higher and higher and higher. Broke resistance on 35.33 and looks like it's trying to take its journey all the way to 3,800. And believe it or not, by the end of this year, it has a high probability of getting to 4,000. So don't underestimate the NASDAQ. But technology, NASDAQ is leading the U.S. markets compared to the S&P and the Dow right after that. Canadian market is nice bullish trend on both the daily and weekly. It's approaching the resistance of 14,288 very fast, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens there. Mexico, this is the interesting chart. It's a nice bullish trend. It's pulled back and now entered an ugly consolidation pattern between 39,300 and 42,732. The way this is consolidated, believe it or not, it looks like it's trying to set up for a bearish trade. So if this breaks down here on 39.30, believe it or not, this pullback here is going to turn into possibly a trend reversal after a nasty consolidation pattern. So definitely keep an eye on Mexico. Maybe it's in there going down. Argentina, nice bullish run here. Got it to a major resistance right around 6,000. Can't seem to break that. Support on this one's going to be 53.52. Santiago, Chile, a nice downward movement here. This is one ugly chart. Nothing really to talk about except the support is going to be 32.52. Resistance over here is going to be about 39.63. But that's just one ugly consolidation pattern. Brazil, here, if you look at it, start a nice little downward movement here, pulled back, and it's come back here. It's trying to get the support of 45,270. If it doesn't get there and breaks this 49,208, believe it or not, at that point it's going to start making a move back up into the top of the consolidation pattern, where around 53,789 is kind of like the top of the consolidation pattern between there and 55,000. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Brazil market. So in summary, if you look at it, Denmark has been very strong. Ireland, you got Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and then very, very strong out there. And then if you come out to Asia, you still have New Zealand here, very leading the way in Asia. and then Australia, which is more South Asia, believe it or not, but they're still very, very strong. Japan and everything has gone for a pullback. And then on the U.S. side, you still have the U.S. market still leading. Probably the Nasdaq is the most leading market indicator in the U.S. side. And then you have all these other South American countries, which pretty much are not going too much anywhere at all. Argentina was the big winner last year, and you could see it's kind of still holding its ground, moving up. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I will speak to you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you.